live. And when they get here, Siggy says he can't make it.
No problem. No worries.
I'm letting people know that Helene's now calling right when I'm going live.
Mhm.
Hello?
Could you give me a few minutes to get in the house?
Can you not call? I'm live. Just do what you do. It's fine. No problem, Helene. Just don't call. Bye. I guess I could have ignored the phone call. Okay. Facebook. Today, it is my pure pure joy to bring you the comedic stylings of my friend, my New York buddy, helps me with my jokes, and once in a while I return favors. Bruce Lipsky. That's the point. That's what I'm trying
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi,
So,
Bruce.
hi, dear. So happy to be here, and I do appreciate the time that you're giving me here to let the world know what's on my crazy mind.
Yes, so lovely. Thank you so much. Do you want me to read your intro real fast?
Sure, why not? I mean, because I don't have it memorized, so you know better than me right now.
After a 35-year career in the fitness and wellness field, Bruce is well positioned to know that laughter really is the best medicine. Bruce's stand-up has been seen at Dangerfields, the Broadway Comedy Club, and the Comic Strip Live in New York City, as well as Governor's, the Brokerage, and My Father's Place on Long Island. More recently, Bruce has zoomed in during our time in quarantine to appear in many virtual shows, bringing his unique comedy perspective of life and family, plus personal experiences and battles with COVID. He presently still has COVID. He's been fighting it like a trooper and inspiring many others. He's even been in the news with it. So I just want to give the floor to the amazing comedic stylings of my friend and yours now, Bruce Lipsky.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's very kind of you, Linda, and greetings from New York City, Long Island. You know, born and bred in New York, and I said I've been living in Long Island the last 30 years or so. And, you know, it's exciting to see how, you know, what's happening with the whole scene of New York City and comedy and Long Island. And now, unfortunately, we all have to go on Zoom these days. But I do appreciate the opportunity to get out here and share my crazy life and my jokes and whatever else. So thank you. You know, it's an interesting month for me this month. I'm turning 65 years old. And you know, I looked in the mirror the other day and I said, you know, I look like a beat up old Buick, all rusted out. Body is totally shot. Nothing to be buffed out. You know, my hoses are leaking. My rear end is making funny sounds. My ball joints have all dried up. I said, oh, I better get makeup. Mako says, oh no, you better get Medicare. And it used to be in my house, if I had a leak, I'd call my plumber. Now I call my urologist. And he's $50 cheaper. And I see some of the young people out there, you know, it's Friday night, the music comes on, get on the dance floor, you go bust a move. I'm afraid to take my wife dancing. How many bucks that hip? And it's hard because I'm starting to forget things. I swear my foam mattress has a better memory than I do. And I'm at the stage in life now where I replace the batteries in my notehead trimmer more than I do in my TV remote. And it's really hard too, because when you get older, sometimes I feel that people are trying to take advantage of you. Like I had my vehicle at the gas station the other day, and the guy gave me an itemized bill afterwards. He says, brakes adjusted, oil change, four-wheel tire rotation. I said, this is all wrong. He says, why? I said, I drive a motorcycle. As I mentioned before, I'm 65 years old. My friends are jealous because I've been retired for a while. And they say, oh, this is fantastic. You can do a lot of traveling. Yeah, I have been doing a lot of traveling lately. On Mondays to the orthopedist, Wednesdays to the neurologist, and Thursdays I'm filling prescriptions at CVS. Very difficult, as you get older, you want to stay in shape. So I've been starting an exercise program, but I only exercise late at night between the hours of 3 and 5 in the morning. I run sprints from the bedroom to the bathroom. And my wife calls it my Usain Bolt to the bathroom. That's why I wear cleats and a tracksuit to bed. The good news is that I got my time down under 6 seconds. But unfortunately, I can only hold my pee in for 4.2. I was thinking back, if I mentioned the fact that I grew up in New York City, I went to a public school, Bayside High School, graduated in the early 70s. The thing with my high school, we had requirements of gym class. But in this gym class, we had to swim, like swimming class. But we had to swim naked. So the first class I got there, I said to the teacher, where's my bathing suit? Where's my Speedo? He looked at me and said, Speedo? How about Speed No? The teacher said to me, Bruce, guess what? Your birthday suit's going to become your bathing suit. Thankfully, woodshop wasn't run that way. Hey, boys, stay away from the lathe. Watch that buzzsaw, Imagine being 14 years old, having to do forced skinny dipping among all your classmates. At 14, I barely had eyebrows. I remember the first day I came home, my mother said, where's your wet bathing suit? I'll wash it for you. I said, Ma, I think I can handle that one on my own, Little did I know, though, that I'd be, auditioning for the first pilot of the show Naked and Afraid. And let me tell you, I was naked and I was very afraid. During this class, we played water polo. This is true. And I'd be in the corner of the pool, the teacher would be yelling, Bruce, protect your nets, protect your nets. I'd be in the corner and say, the heck with that, I'm trying to protect my nuts. But I did become an excellent one-handed swimmer. And in competitions, I really held my own. But this swim class actually gave me a lot of confidence with the ladies, especially when I learned the breaststroke behind the bleachers with Mary Lou Zabriskie. Nowadays, the good thing about having that class, it definitely be social distancing. But the bad thing is, imagine if they actually ran a swim class like this. No suit would equal lawsuit. I'm just thinking now, my wife is into fitness. She takes goat yoga. She finds it very therapeutic and relaxing, especially when the goat jumps on her back and licks her ears. I said, wait a second. How come I tried that last week? You slapped me and threw me out of the bedroom, and now you're paying the goat to do it. She said, well, he's got great technique and pressure breath. So I said, well, did he allow kids in the class? She says, no, they only take adult goats. And with me, she actually hooked me into taking a yoga class. I was so embarrassed when I got there. The teacher called me over and said, Bruce, oh, how cute. I love your mat. What does it say? Please wipe your feet before entering. Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. And this was a hot yoga class, 150 degrees, 40 people shoved into a room the size of a walk-in closet. It was crazy, man. At one point, doing my downward dog, I looked in the mirror and I said, please, God, tell me that was a goat's tongue. And before I met my wife, I dated a lot of people. I even dated a very famous TV weather person, not Al Roker. But the first time I got intimate was like a bad winter forecast. She was predicting 10 to 12, and all she got was 2 to 4. And man, was she angry. Now I know why they name hurricanes after women. Thinking about that now, my wife and I have a great relationship. Just celebrated our anniversary. 30 years of wedded bliss. Oh, no, I made a mistake. Wedded blisters. And that's because she's been rubbing me the wrong way all these years. And I have the calluses to prove it. And we have a very unique marriage. Every year on our anniversary, we don't renew our vows. We enter contract negotiations. I get a performance review. And last year was really tough. My wife said to me, Bruce, you're so disorganized. if you worked for me, I'd have fired your ass a long time ago. Gave me 3 months probation and took away all my fringe benefits. Where's human resources when I need them? And my wife is always in business mode. Everything on an Excel spreadsheet. I wish she'd excel at spreading and putting out between the sheets. Sometimes I just don't get my wife. She just hired a new cleaning person. But I really don't like this person. I think this person is lazy, eats our food. I think she's stealing from us. So I finally had to put my foot down and I said to my wife, fire your mother. Got rid of her right away. And I feel bad for my wife sometimes because, you know, she really tries hard. She sent me out the other day to buy some organic vegetables. I'm in the store and I'd never bought these before. So I asked the guy there, I said, how do I know what vegetables are organic? He said, if they're twice the price and half the size, they're organic. I said, like my hydroelectric Prius? And my wife just put us on a new diet. It's called the Tainted lettuce diet. I lost 7 pounds in 2 days. And somebody asked me, was it from the romaine? I said I couldn't tell. Because once I kicked into my system, nothing remained in my body for more than 30 seconds. And she thinks everybody in the family is a food critic. You know, she'll spend time on the internet looking at recipes and going out and buying the stuff and cooking it. And in 30 seconds, my son will say, you're cooking that shitty chicken again? So my wife says to him, you know, how would you like to have some of Dad's romaine salad? That kind of fixed him. And my wife and I, you know, we really tried. We tried taking up gardening. We've been doing this for years, and it's the same result. I kill myself every year. We wound up with 4 rotten tomatoes, 2 cucumbers, and a funny-looking zucchini. A couple of years ago, my wife says, you got to spend the money. So what did I do? I spent $3,700 on planting beds, tomato cages, and a $3,200 watering system. And guess what? 4 rotten tomatoes, 2 cucumbers, a zucchini, 12 rabbits, and a $3,200 green pepper. I finally said, I've had it. So I talked to my neighbor, Angelo. He grows the best garden. Okay, this guy's amazing. You know, he has 3-foot-long cucumbers, hundreds of tomatoes, and zucchinis that weigh 7 pounds. I said, what's your secret? He said 3 words: red fox urine. I said, what? Wait a sec. He's been dead for 30 years. He said, no, you need the urine of a natural predator. What do you mean, Harvey Weinstein? Jeffrey Weinstein? No, you need the 4-legged type. So I took his advice and I did that. And guess what? 4 rotten tomatoes, 2 cucumbers, a zucchini, and this big, huge patch of this green weeds. She calls it kale. And now she's become a kaleaholic. Driving me crazy. The other day she wanted to make me a kale smoothie. I said, unless you put a shot of vodka in it, I ain't touching it. You know? No recipe ends well when the first ingredient is kale. I'll tell you that. And the technique for kale now has changed too. In order to get the kale properly, you know, so you can cook it properly, you know what you have to do? You have to massage the kale deeply. Okay. Here's another thing where I'm not getting a happy ending. And I mentioned before that I have a son. You know, he's in his 20s, good kid, but you know, sometimes they test your last nerve ending. And I kind of figured he'd be an interesting kid growing up. When he took one of his pepperoni pizza slices, hid it in his sock drawer, and tried to find out, see how long it's going to take to disintegrate. Let me tell you, after 4 weeks, it didn't disintegrate, but it certainly didn't smell good. But actually, it probably smelled better than his socks. And one day, I remember I caught him in his room playing with a deck of cards with naked women on it. I said, what kind of games do you like to play? He said, lots of solitaire. And he, you know, he was actually a basketball player in high school, what they call a Division I player, all-star on the team, leading scorer on his team. Can somebody please help me here? I'm trying to figure out why his laundry never makes it into the basket, right, falls right short, and the garbage lays right next to his basket. What do I do? You know what I did? I raised his basket up 10 feet high. Now the percentages are a lot better. At least I'm only picking up half his clothing now. I was thinking of bringing some cheerleaders in and having an electronic scoreboard. But I kind of figured it out, though. At that age, he'd rather score off the court than on the court, you know? But, you know, as I said, he's a good kid. He's very athletic. And the other day he comes to me, Dad, he says, Dad, I need my workout clothes washed. I said, that's fantastic, son. But why don't you go downstairs and wash it yourself in the machine? So he's downstairs and he calls me and said, Dad, we got a new washing machine. What do I set the machine at? I said, what does it say on your sweatshirt? He yelled back up. He says, Nike. This is the kid I'm dealing with right now, you know? You had mentioned before, Linda, about, you know, the fact that I had COVID,
Yes.
you know, like 8-9 months ago. Thankfully, I'm doing a lot better. And I really love my wife, and she's been fantastic. You know, think about this. You know, I had a quarantine, she had a quarantine, so sex was sort of out of the picture, you know? But, you know, to make things spicy, she took one of her Victoria's Secret black lace bras, cut it up and made masks out of them. Thankfully, my wife is a double D, or else it would have never fit over this Jewish nose. But you should have seen what I did for her with my athletic support. You got to keep the passion in the family. You know? But, you know, during the pandemic, which we're going through right now, my supermarket was excellent because we couldn't go out shopping. They have a home delivery service. And what they did was they said, no, we'll deliver to your house, but we can't guarantee whatever you order, you're going to get because they might run out of stock. I can understand a zucchini for an eggplant, rye for whole wheat. But how do you go from Colgate to Preparation H? Even my dog had to suffer. He went from the science diet to my wife's cooking. He took one sniff, rolled on its back, and played dead. And I've been trying to teach him that trick for 3 years. But before the pandemic, my wife did all the shopping, which was a big mistake. I would ask her for regular peanut butter. She'd give me crunchy style. I said, honey, I need regular orange juice. She'd get orange juice with pulp. I said, you know, I'm really suffering. I need some Ben Gay. She brought home Ben the Bag Boy. And the other morning she said, honey, can you pass the Colgate? So I gave her my Preparation H because she's always chewing my ass out. But she's a fabulous person. You know, I must admit that. She's great. But I'm blessed. You know, I have very nice parents. And, you know, it's a great relationship to think about this. But, you know, you think about going back, I was talking about my son before, you know, as I said, he's a great kid. But think about now in the stage of life where I am right now. You know, it's to the point where I have become my parents' sort of guardian. All right. So they become the kids. So at my age, I'm finding out that I've become a parent to my parents. So recently I went to check on my parents and, you know, they're in their late 90s. And, you know, as I said, I'd like to go regularly, but I walked in the house and I said, gosh, what's that? What's that smell again? What's going on? So I traced it right to the refrigerator, went right to the refrigerator. And I said, Ma, when was the last time you cleaned this refrigerator out? Was Lincoln still president? And they had a stalk of broccoli in there that was so old. I think it sprouted wings and developed its own personality. I was worried it's going to start talking back to me, start yelling at me. They had a tub of cottage cheese in there that expired around the same time as my great-great-grandfather. And it was moldy. The cottage cheese, not my great-grandfather. And I dug a little bit deeper in there, and I pulled out this carton of milk. I said, look, Dad, this expired in 1978. How are you drinking this stuff? Then I looked at the missing kid on the carton over there. This kid must be 60 years old by now. I think the amber alert probably turned to silver. But then I looked closer. That picture looked awful like me when I was 9 years old. Thankfully, they rescued me. You know, some kids put their kids' pictures, some parents put their kids' pictures on the outside of the refrigerator. Mine put them on the inside. absolutely everything in that refrigerator was moldy. It was disgusting. Everything was past the time it should have died. And suddenly I realized that that's their secret to being healthy in the late 90s. They eat so much bacteria, they're immune to everything. So I hired a cleaning lady for them as well. Place was disgusting. So, I said to my mother, this cleaning lady comes over. I said, why are you cooking for the cleaning lady? She says, well, the cleaning lady likes to eat. And I figured, why not help her out? Let her eat before she comes, I said. But my mother said, you know how much your mother-in-law really loves my broccoli casserole. Yeah. But again, I'm fortunate, as I said, I have my parents around. But they're getting older, and sometimes I worry about them. My dad, I think he's losing it a little bit. He's convinced that stand-up MRI is a comedy club. And I know I had to take him to the hospital for some tests. And so my dad insisted that he drive. I said, he's in his 90s, and you know how older people are with driving. I said, oh my God, I'm worried about this. I reluctantly gave in. He has a 1978 Mercury Grand Marquis. You've probably seen one of these things. They weigh 25,000 pounds, and the size of an aircraft carrier. Park this beast, you need a football field. And it has 280,000 miles on it. And this thing is definitely not built for speed or comfort, which makes me believe it's like a Marquis de Sade. He's had this car so long. I know I took my road test in this car 3 times because parking this beast is a bitch. And to most people, this car is a heap of shit. My dad really loves it. And every Sunday he's out there washing and polishing it. He's been doing this, rubbing it so long, the paint is like down to 1 millimeter. And then he told me, one day this could all be yours. I said, what, the repair bills? And this car, like my parents, is a bit battered. It's been around the block a lot. Even the cloth lining and the ceiling of the car is coming down. It looks like a hammock. I wonder if it could probably sleep 2 in there. But, they keep moving forward. And I said, we're going to go on our way to the hospital now. And he's insisting to drive. And my mother says, Bruce, you're a big boy now. Why don't you sit in my seat? I'll sit in the back. You sit next to Dad. So I'm in this old car in the front seat. Oh, remind me then. This car's a 1978. 33 years, whatever it is, my mother's ass imprint has been in there. I was sitting so low, I hit every pothole. And I could barely see over the dashboard. I felt like a little kid again. And then I was thinking, my mom is in the back seat. And the rear door there is put together and held by a bungee cord. I was afraid if my dad made too sharp a turn, she may fall out of the car. But I guess the good news is, because the way my dad drives, he drives slow enough that probably wouldn't be a problem picking her up again. But as I said, he's a really slow driver. And at 91 years old, you'd think that he'd be more in a rush to get places. My quarter-mile trip took me 45 minutes. I said, Dad, can you go any faster? Kids on skateboards are passing us. I had a woman wheeling a baby carriage. She was waving like this as she passed us by. And then we got stuck at a 4-way stop sign for 10 minutes. My dad kept on going, you go, you go, you go. I said, no, Dad. He said, no, like I always say, good manners will take you a long way in life. Not when you're stuck with a 4-way stop sign, Dad. He let 30 cars pass by. So finally, we pulled into the hospital parking lot. But it took forever to find the parking place for this beast because we couldn't find a football field. Oh my gosh. So we're in the hospital now. And my dad, I told you, needs some tests done. We're in the elevator. This technician wheels in this machine with all these tubes and hoses. My dad looks at him and said, Mister, you better not hook me up to that machine today. The guy looks back and says, for your sake, I hope not. It's a carpet cleaner. But as a treat for my parents, I took them out to their favorite restaurant afterwards, Friendly's. Okay, that's a big misnomer because there's nothing friendly about my parents when they go to a restaurant. Right away, my mother called over the manager. She said, Mister, it's bad enough my eggs are runny and my toast is burnt. But how come you no longer serve coffee in those nice brown Friendly mugs? The manager said, lady, we stopped because people kept on stealing them. My mother looked at me and said, oh, that's too bad. I only need one more to complete my set. Now I have a mother with a mugshot for being a mug thief. So I said to my mother, don't worry, Mom, we can start a new collection next week at Benny's. The problem we have here now is that we're running out of restaurants to take them to. You know, we go to a restaurant now, the waiter doesn't ask, you know, how's everything? They ask, is anything okay? And restaurants are starting to review them on Yelp. They're getting 1 star. My mother thinks that's good. I said, no, Ma, 5 stars are good. Very, very tough. But, you know, it's nice to be married, as mentioned before. And let me just take a little sip over here. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Nice to be married. You know, it's great. And been a long time together. And, you know, I have a mother-in-law. She's 92 years old, never wants to be a burden to anybody. We're at a restaurant recently, the waiter said, coffee or tea? And she replied, whatever's easiest for you. So I was thinking, what happens if he brought her an empty cup? What would I say? When it comes time to your tip, I'll show my empty wallet, you know? But among her circle of friends, she's known as Fearless Marjorie, but I call her Macgyver. You know, she can improvise with anything. But Macgyver carries around a Swiss Army knife. My mother-in-law, she can do wonders with a knitting needle, a spatula, and a denture cream. She can rewire a whole house. I can barely plug in the toaster. And I can tell when she's up to no good by the amount of bruises and cuts on her forehead and knuckles. I said, I was over the house the other day. I said, Marjorie, what'd you do now? She says, I'm just crotzing around, just fooling around. I said, what do you mean fooling around? I look at this broken screen. Who fixed it? Well, no, I'm just crotzing around. So tell me what happened. I discovered that she got locked out of the house. She's in the backyard. She dragged a 50-pound wrought iron bench across the backyard underneath the window, climbed up on it, pried open the screen, cut a hole in it, opened the window, and stepped into the house, probably somersaulted into the house. More likely. And mind you, she's legally blind and she weighs less than her age. But not finished yet. Listen to this, not finished yet. She repaired the screen. You know, with some people, when they get old, you take away their car keys. Marjorie, we had to take away her extension ladder, her blowtorch, and her power tools. And, you know, it's a weird family I have. You know, as you know, you're with somebody a long time. You have to adopt and become adept at doing a new family. You know, as I said, you have your own family, but then you inherit a new one. And I remember my first Thanksgiving with my wife's family. They sat me next to Aunt Frida. I noticed that my wife and sister were smirking. They were kind of like pointing at this. Then I looked at my wife and she said, "You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Don't worry." Then I looked at this tiny little 90-year-old lady. She's sitting on 2 phone books. And she's as tall as she is wide. She's got long, scraggly hair, a mustache, and a beard. She looks like Jerry Garcia. I said, what am I getting myself into over here? But let me tell you about Aunt Frida. She's what they call physical. She's a puncher. Every time she hits a comma, she smacks you. And the first time I said, what are you hitting me for? Is this some sort of weird family initiation? I was ready to go 3 rounds with her. I felt like I was dealing with Killer Kowalski in the wrestling ring or something. And with Aunt Frida, they warned me not to let her drink. They said, don't let her touch a thing. And my wife's sister said, let her touch a thing, which makes me wonder what the hell happened over here. The next thing you know, Aunt Frida's going for the drink. She says, my glass is empty. I want some wine. I said, no, Aunt Frida, you can't have it. I want it now. Put the wine down, Aunt Frida, put it down. But it makes me, what happened here? Did she knock over some candlesticks? Did she dance on the table? Did she punch out my wife's last boyfriend? You know, she can't take any more shots, but she certainly can give them. And I can see why she likes pro wrestling and roller derby. Probably still thinks she can compete. But what's really scary about Aunt Frida, she has no concept of personal space. When she's not hitting you, she's leaning on you. Try eating soup at a 45-degree angle. My dumplings kept on falling off. At one point, I said, I need an adjustment. Can somebody please pass me a chiropractor? And by the time dessert came, I told Aunt Frida again, we got to switch sides again. My right shoulder has a hematoma the size of a watermelon, a huge bruise over here. This welt is like coming out to here. And I'm running out of body parts for you to bruise. But when I looked over to her, she would sound asleep on my shoulder. Everyone says, isn't she sweet? She must really like you. So I said to my wife, next time I'm coming to dinner with you guys, I'm bringing a pillow and I'll come dressed as a hockey goalie. I just need another sip of my juice over here. Thank you.
Don't stop. Keep going as long as you want.
I will, my dear. My wife, this whole pandemic, she got obsessed with buying on Amazon, and the packages are nonstop. I got packages stacked up to the roof. I feel like I'm playing a game of Jenga for giants. I'm constantly going from the front porch to the living room to upstairs. I'm like a personal delivery monkey, her Amazon primate. And she said to me, Bruce, your birthday's coming up. What would you like? I'll get something online for you. I said, how about a forklift, a weight belt, and a bigger house? They said the packages are nonstop.
Hold on, everybody. I'm going to write him.
He probably was going to return. He probably did that so he would return.
Yes. Thank you.
Let him go back to Amazon Primate.
Well, let's let Helene Witt take the floor. Do you want to say some things while we're waiting for Bruce Lipsky to come back, Helene?
Yeah, I felt that he was going to keep going, even if you didn't mention it. It looked like he was just going. He just needed the water.
Yes.
He wasn't stopping either time.
Yep. He was great. I hope he doesn't have he's so great. He did so much time, and I want to hear more.
And you were hysterical laughing the whole time.
It's such funny material. Such funny material. I don't have to, I can just sit back. This is so much more fun than like having to interview. Like just call me up. Huh?
You don't have to generate anything.
Yeah, just sit and relax. What are you doing in New York today, Helene Witt?
Well, I went out because I got overcharged $20. So I drove $20 worth of gas to get my $20 back.
Got it. Say hi to everybody. This is my best friend, Helene Witt. Helene Witt. She has 2 Facebooks. So yeah, I get to give her the berries all the time, and she gives me the berries. We keep each other straight.
Which berries?
Any kind. He's back. Here we go, Facebook.
Tell him to come back to Amazon Primate.
What happened here? I lost my internet. Something happened.
I know.
Amazon Primate. We heard Amazon Primate.
I thought the FCC was going to kick me out or something,
Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. Bathroom break. Anyway, I was saying, my wife with Amazon, I'm like an Amazon primate, all these deliveries. And I was saying, my birthday's coming up. And so my wife said, what would you like? And I don't know if I'm repeating this or not. I said, well, I want a forklift, a weight belt, and a bigger house. And I mentioned before, the packages are nonstop. So we just got issued our own postal code, the zip code. And we have the only house in the block that has valet parking for the delivery guys. And the other morning, my wife had some yellow paint she was painting on the driveway, reserved for UPS. Which really bothers me because I think she's having an affair with the UPS guy. Constantly going on and on, bragging about how big his package is. And now she only wants backdoor delivery. And so, now she's also into fantasy role play. She has me dress up in brown shorts, construction boots, and carry a clipboard. Anytime I want to have sex, I got to sign for it. And this is making my family life miserable. The only smiles in my house now are the ones in the boxes. And as I said before, she just nonstop with orders. She just ordered a $4,000 avocado mattress. $4,000. She says she's going green. They say it's organic. I don't want organic in my bedroom. I want orgasmic. And they said that the mattress started to go bad and it was smelling ripe. But to me, it was very lumpy. I think they left the pits in there. It's like I'm sitting on a bed of guacamole. I said, what am I, a fajita? I told my wife, what's next, sour cream pillows? And with this avocado mattress, she ordered an adjustable bed, one of those Craftmatics. But I found out it's not a good idea to piss your wife off before going to bed. Okay? We had an argument. She took the remote control, put the mattress in the shape of a V. I said, I can't get in. She said, that's not the only V you're not getting into tonight. But, the one thing that she didn't order on Amazon was a dog. She recently got a $4,000 designer dog. Okay? And I said, wait, $4,000? But she carries this dog around like a Gucci handbag. Except the Gucci handbag only costs $3,000. I'd rather have the handbag. At least it doesn't need to walk 6 times a day. And she named him Mr. Fabio. Okay, she dresses him in silk pajamas and a gold collar. Now she has a velour smoking jacket she just got. This guy prances around my bedroom, thinks he's Magic Mike. He's completely taken over my bedroom. Slept on my side of the bed, on my pillow, next to my wife snoring and farting. That's my job. What am I going to do now? I don't think this dog likes me. Every time I come into bed, he growls. I don't know if he's growling at me or thinking I'm the UPS guy. And I'm afraid to kick him out of bed. I may get bitten, scratched, and growled at by my wife. And with this dog too, I don't know if you've ever seen a dog. He's got restless leg syndrome. I think he's dreaming of something. His legs are constantly going like this. I don't know if he's chasing me out of the house or chasing the UPS guy out of the house. So my wife said, how do you know? And I said, this dog, I'm constantly getting kicked and jabbed all night long. She says, how do you know it was the dog? And she's gone overboard. Now she has this dog groomed. I get $14 haircuts. She's spending $150 a month on this dog. A mobile grooming truck comes to the house. It's called the Rough Life, RUFF. I'm the one with the rough life over here. He gets a blueberry facial, nose and paw moisturizer, a haircut. I said, what does he need that for? He's rubbing his face in crap all day and sniffing other dogs' butts. But $150, I should be getting that because my wife's been rubbing it into me for all those years. I need a husband rescue. And she put the dog on the science diet. Me, she put on the science fiction diet. I get canned food, canned spaghetti and meatballs. Those limp noodles with the glow-in-the-dark sauce? There's more science in the can of my food than it is in his diet. The only chef in my house now with me is Chef Boyardee. And the dog just had its physical. His cholesterol is 37 points below mine. He's not walking around pre-diabetes. But the good news is none of us tested positive for fleas. And when you have an animal, it's very difficult when it's time to go on vacation. And so, my wife is, oh, honey, what do we do with the dog? We spent $39 at the Holiday Inn, hoping it had HBO. She spent $250 a night at a 5-star pet resort. So this dog was covered. It had to have Wi-Fi and cable. I said, what does he need Wi-Fi for? Is he going to go surfing the net on plentyofpooch.com, trying to score on my nickel? And so I'm not getting it. I'm not paying for his romps. Maybe when it's his birthday. And I said, what does he need cable for? Oh, honey, you know how upset he gets when he can't watch his favorite TV shows. I said, like what? Lampposts of the rich and famous? Awful, awful, awful. And with my wife, she does everything for the dog. Recently, she knitted the dog a sweater. I said, why do I buy off the rack at Kohl's and you're making designer clothes for the dog? She said, well, he's a designer dog. She's gone nuts. Now we only go to pet-friendly restaurants. I said, why? She said, well, they have a special menu for the dog. My wife calls the waiter and says, my husband and I have the $7.95 hamburger platter. We're going to split that. But for Mr. Fabio, I want the lox platter, $29.95. I said, what does he need the lox platter for? She said, well, it's good for his coat. He doesn't need a coat. You're knitting him a sweater. And so the dog didn't finish his dinner. So on the way out, I'm carrying his doggy bag, and my wife's carrying him like a Gucci handbag out the door. And what I was really angry is he thought he'd at least offered a tip, pay the tip. Nothing at all. But at the end of the day, I'm very fortunate. I got a lovely wife, a lovely son, a lovely family, great friends, and I'm very blessed. I do appreciate everybody who's listened, Linda especially, for making this thing happen for me. And my old friends, my new friends, and my family, I do appreciate, as I said before, and I look forward to hopefully entertaining you for a long time. So thank you very much. Love you guys.
Yay! Standing
Yay,
ovation.
Bruce. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was 32 minutes, Bruce, from
Holy
the
cow,
beginning.
Batman. Holy cow, Batman. And I
Yeah.
left out stuff because I felt that was, I don't want to go too far into this. Yeah.
Yeah, I took off for the time that you were out, and it's still 32 minutes, Bruce.
I wanted
Thank
you
you,
to keep going and cover all your material.
That's all right. That's okay. This is perfectly fine. I mean,
You
I
want
mean-
to do more?
no, that's good. That's just good. We
Okay.
ended it in a nice way. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. I mean, I know I got to work on a few other things still. I mean, but for the most part, I felt I had everything almost memorized,
Gee, that was awesome. It's so funny.
Thank you.
Linda's side must hurt because she was laughing out loud. The whole-
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I
And
love you
who-
guys.
Helene Weiss-Witt has been one of your biggest supporters from forever.
All right, it goes both ways for all you guys, Couldn't do it without you. As I said, this is a journey over here, work in progress, and we'll just keep working it, right?
That's it.
You did all your material. I wish there was a little more you could do.
Oh, like I said, I left out some only because it's, we got interrupted a little bit, and
No, it was perfect. It was perfect the way it was, with the interruption and stuff, and nobody knows what you left out. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Where's Waldo, right?
You didn't leave anything out because you came back to Amazon Primate.
Yeah.
I knew where you left off and you came back to it.
Yeah. So
You
if
should-
anything's repetitive, it's okay. Yeah, no problem.
when
Well,
you
it's
get
weird.
when you get this video, you can actually use it, I think, to submit. I mean, it's hilarious, and I know my annoying laughter was constant. So
I love it. I love it. And it just ran into the room right now. Elaine's favorite dog.
Carly, is Carly wearing a dress?
No, she's wearing a pink sweater right now with a hood.
Let's see. Let's see the sweater.
Oh, she ran
Linda
out of the
knows
room
what
right
I'm
now.
talking about.
She ran out of the room, But Linda, I can't tell you how much I do appreciate this, making this venue available to me and out to the masses. It really means a lot. And, because we're all trying to get better here. And I think one of the best ways to try and figure that out is to actually do it.
absolutely.
as I said, I know I have some work to do with some of my punchlines and some other stuff. I gotta shorten some of the words and, but, and,
No.
I have a script I put out here, but, sometimes you go off script only because you're in the moment,
Yes.
yeah. But as I said, I try not to, I try to get everything as much as possible right from the head as opposed to, reading from a book or something, because I spend a lot of time practicing and everything else like that. Great.
Paid off.
Mhm.
Oh, that was wonderful. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I mean, that's headline, that's an amount of material for headlining.
As I say, headlining and head cases, that's where I fit perfectly.
That's
Really, that's sweet.
awesome. No,
Sweet. So,
you're ready. That's so great.
thank you. Thank you. Well,
Next
and-
time I'd like to hear it all if you have more.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I would have kept going.
Well, when I open for Linda and you guys, I'm happy to do more. When you do your hour special,
Linda.
oh, you too, Elaine.
Elaine.
You have the
I
material,
don't have my stuff together like you do.
right? You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to invite Rob Chaffee.
Well, it'll be on my Facebook, so I can take it and forward it to him if you'd like.
Yeah,
Or-
you'll get
or-
points.
Or you.
I don't care about the points. Yeah.
Or you, is it like Weight Watchers? No, you can take it and share it with Rob too off my page because we're friends.
If I can just go there and hit share or something.
Yes, and if it doesn't work, tell me.
Okay, super. Great. Right.
Yeah.
That's
Are you
fabulous.
two coming on Debbie's?
I'm going to try. Yes.
You
Um,
sent the link just now.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, we
Linda,
better
you
get
coming
off.
on, Deborah?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll put my makeup on.
All right, you guys, if anybody's watching, come on over to Facebook Live to Debbie Boz's page, DebbieBazza, or Helene Weiswit, or Bruce Lipsky, or Linda Marcus Smith page. Thank you, Bruce Lipsky.
Love you all. Thank
Yay,
you
Bruce.
again. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Perfect. No mistakes.
Awesome.
Thank you. Stop losing internet. Can people tell on Facebook that we lost the internet?
Yes. Yes.
All right, no worries. Pick up where
Bruce,
we
you
left
came
off.
back. You came
Yes.
back and picked up. We knew where you left off. It was no big deal.
Oh,
You
excellent.
said it was a bathroom break.
Yeah, it was called loss of internet service.
Yes.
Very rich. How we cut out. Very strange,
Darn.
That's because you
All
have low broadband and low testosterone.
Exactly. I got to talk to the guys at Cablevision. But thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Bye. Congratulations.
Thank you much. Thank you.